Welcome to day 3 of NaNoJouMo. I am going to be doing page for day 3, and the prompt today is if I could fly. So that is what I will be journaling about today. Enjoy. This is Sapphire Blue Glamour Dust Ultra Fine Glitter Paint. It's a Deco Art brand product. And it's brand new. I haven't even gotten a seal on it. Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. Thank you now. Sorry about that. Got a phone call and the call dropped, and I believe that I am going to get a return call because it was from my husband. And if you'll excuse me again. Assalamualaikum. Yeah. Go ahead, can't drink yourself. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Okay, excuse me. He's out with the boys again. I'm just drying off the paintbrushes that I'm pretty sure I'm going to use today. I like dry brushes. As I was saying, Sapphire Blue. And get something down to protect my page underneath. Nothing like finger painting, right? I know some of you are cringing. I used to cringe too about getting my fingers messy. But now it's love. I'm using my fingers simply because that's the effect I want here. It's not any other special reason. There's no need to have to do this on the page. I just wanted that particular effect. And I'm going to put in on a little sizzling red, also the glamour dust. Dried paint there, I just got it out so it won't cause problems in the bottle later. And you can put gloves on if you don't want to get your fingers messy. I've just gotten to the point where I don't care anymore. Messy is good. I might have to do a bit more of this because I'm going to stick this to the side and let it dry. And I'm going to work on my paper. This is paper that it was just regular white copy paper that you use in your printer, and I dyed it with coffee simply by brewing some coffee and pouring it in a pan, and then sitting this in the pan and letting it soak for about 2 minutes, and then putting it in the oven to dry. And I got this nice aged color on it. You can do the same thing with tea bags. Dye the paper with tea. And I just want a torn edge, so I'm tearing some of the paper off. Now you see why I didn't bother about painting the middle, because I knew it was going to be covered. Might need to bring this down. Okay, before I move on with that, there's another step I want to do here so it can dry as well. More than anything, I just need the top part. This is a butterfly stencil. And I'm going to use some of the Dago Art modeling paste to stencil on some butterflies onto my project. And of course, trying to think where my palette knife is. There's some art upstairs in the bedroom, so maybe up there. I found it. So I'm just going to stencil on a couple butterflies, some modeling paste. Removing some excess that went off of the stencil. And I want to do one on this side too. Then I can sit this to the side and let it dry while I'm doing everything else. I still may have to hit this with the heat tool, but at least it can begin the drying process while I'm working on the rest of the page. I'm going to just quick clean up with my fingers. Let y'all have a close up of that. And I'll just set that to the side and let it dry. Do a quick clean up here. So that way we can move on. Excuse me, I have modeling paste on my fingers. I'm trying to get it off. Now, the next portion of this project, you will need a metal pan or tray, a candle, and a wet paper towel or a damp cloth. And you will need to use a lot of safety and precaution with this step, because we are playing with fire and it can be dangerous, and you have to be careful, very, very careful. If you're uncomfortable, by all means do this portion of it by the sink, because you can always dump your materials in the sink. I'd rather you have ruined a piece of paper than a house on fire. So do this at your own risk. Remember that you are playing with fire, and be very, very careful and use all safety precautions and common sense. So let me get my wet rag. And I have my candle snuffer because I don't blow out flames by snuffing. So okay, now I can't find my matches. I had to have them. I have a candle lit already on my altar. So I had to have them this morning. And now they have seemed to have found a new place away from me. Usually that means the computer became full and the video stopped recording. You did not miss anything. I was lucky enough to notice the error message on my screen before I went into the next step of things. So I'm going to put these two videos together so we can still only have one video. I don't know how it's going to look when we put it together. So just in case there's a gap or a skip, you'll see me come in and explain that the video has stopped recording, and so this is the second piece that I'm merging together with the first piece so that we can continue. We were at the point where we were talking about the safety of playing with fire. At this point, you may want to do this at your sink for ultimate safety's sake. I have a metal pan here, a wet baby wipe on my paper, and a tea light candle. I'm going to light the tea light candle, and with the candle I'm going to singe the edges of this paper because I want it to have that singed look when I lay it down. And I'm just looking to see which side of the paper I want to have showing. And I think I might want to have that side showing. So I'm just going to light my tea light candle. Again, do this at your own risk and make sure you use all manner of precautions when doing this. And my advice is for you to do it at the sink if you've never done it before. Now, you just need to put your paper in the flame until it just catches, and allow the edges to singe. And you do have to blot that out with the wet paper towel, or else it'll just continue singeing until the paper's all burned up. And that's all I'm doing, is singeing the edges of my paper. You might get some flames, which is okay. Again, remember to blot it out with your wet paper towel onto your metal tray or dish. I sometimes let the flame go a little bit so that I can get a nicer burn. It's all up to you and what you want to do, how you want your paper to look. Please excuse the noise in the background. That is the kittens playing. And I'm just singeing all the way around. Sometimes, as you see, I let it smolder a little longer so I can get more of a burn. The important thing is to remember, even if it's just glowing red and there is no flame, it will continue to burn. So even if you think you don't have to dab it out with your wet paper towel, because there's no flame, you do. And I just like the look that it gives the paper. And I'm back to the edge where I started. I'm just thinking a little more. Okay, the other thing that you can do with your paper, with the same candle, remembering to keep your safety products at hand, is to hold the paper not on the flame, but close to the flame. Close enough that it will singe the paper on this side as well. And you can see it when it singes the paper through the side. It starts to burn on the side. A little smoke comes up. And I just like to do it to complete the look of the burned paper. Paper that got caught in the fire. As you see darker singe marks on the paper. And that's just what I'm going for. It makes the paper look more authentically burned in a real fire. And you keep your tools next to you because you could set the paper on fire again inadvertently. And you don't want to do too much of this because you're doing it on the writing surface of your paper, and if you make it too singed and burned, then it'd be hard for you to write. I'm using this as my journaling spot. Oh, almost burnt through there, see? Have to pay attention and be careful. And you can get carried away doing this, I know I do. I just like the way it looks. It makes the page look. So that's enough for me. I'll snap out my candle and move it to the side. And do some quick cleanup. Now, during the break when I had to make space on my hard drive, I hit the modeling paste with the heat tool, so you wouldn't have to suffer through that. And it's fairly well dried, so. But this is going to be my journaling spot for the page. And I wanted to have a singed look. Again, today's prompt is if I could fly. So I have my butterflies here representing light. And I'm going to paint those up. And I have my paper here right under the butterflies, looking like the butterflies are holding the paper to take it on a flight. And I'm just going to use glue dots to glue this down instead of pasting it flat down so it looks like it's flying in the wind. There will be edges that are lifting it all, so it looks like it's flying in the wind. And I'm really liking the way that is turning out. But before I attach it to my page, I want to draw on it and give it the lines that it's going to have in my text. butterfly. That's what I wrote on. And then I'm just going to draw some lines for me to journal. Those are just wavy lines for me to be able to journal my sentiments. And I'll put that to the side. Bring my butterflies back over because I want to paint them. This time I am using another Deco Art paint. It is the Americana Neons. I'm using Scorching Yellow and Sizzling Pink. Because I really want those butterflies to pop off that page. Just giving the paint a good shake. Make sure that mixes well. Find an appropriate size brush. That always seems to be my crux here. I have so many brushes to choose from, I never know which is the best size to use sometimes. Oops. Brand new colors. Trying to think if I want the butterflies solid same color or if I want to mix and match. And I think I'm going to mix and match. Just add interest to both sides. Nothing rocket science here, I'm just brushing on the yellow paint. And I may do 2 coats of this, even though it's giving good coverage with the 1 coat. These are their neons, and they are really, really neon. Very nice colors. Very nice pop. Very nice opacity and coverage. Again, I want to do 2 coats just because I want it that deep. You don't have to. Not, at least not in this application of it. It is covering it well. And I'll just go back and do a quick second coat to get the depth color that I want. And then we can pull out some black for the body of the butterfly. Can't leave her naked. You all know what I'm doing with this excess paint, don't you? I can't remember where I picked this tip up from to save the excess paint, and by just putting it into a blank journal page and getting that page started. I don't know what class I was in or what YouTube video I was watching or what that gave us that tip or trick, but it's one I've been keeping ever since I've learned it, and I try to pass it on to anyone who will listen to it because it is such a great paint saver and supply saver. Oops. Just pulling out some of the Americana multi-surface satin and black tie so that I can paint the body of the butterflies. just looking for a small brush, small round brush to do this with. That don't make a big mess. And I'm just brushing on a nice coat of black to the body. Ooh, I put my hand right in the paint, forgetting that there was a butterfly over there. Luckily, more damage to my arm than there is to the paint. And I could have always just repainted that if I had fouled it up by being clumsy. And we'll do butterfly number 2. And then go back and put a second coat on butterfly number 1. And as well on butterfly number 2. And for the body, I am a little more cognizant of getting the sides of the body, whereas I wasn't so much on the wings, because to me it didn't matter as much on the wings. Back for coat number 2 here. The butterfly number 2 a second coat, and then we will be done here with the black. This one wasn't as ready for coat number 2 as the first one was, but we shall make it work, as we always do. Okay. I use a lot of black lately, as evidenced in my other journal. I'm going to hit this really quickly with the heat tool. So I don't stick my arm in it again like I did. To attach this here. And like I said, I don't want it to be flat. Because I want it to look like it's flying in the wind. Along with the butterflies. But I'm trying to think, do I want, I guess I can attach it and then write on it later. That won't be problematic at all, I don't think. So, like I said, I'm going to just use some glue dots. Archival and all that. Scrappers, I've been using them forever. Actually, why I had them. I started this creative journey as a scrapbooker. And quickly fell in love with mixed media when I discovered it. And haven't looked back. But then if we really think about scrapbooking, what is scrapbooking but organized mixed media anyway. Organized and neat, I should say. As opposed to the art journaling and other mixed media projects that I do now, the messier I go, the more fun the project. Got my glue dots on, just gonna line this up nicely and have a mesh. Way. There are some things about the butterfly that are calling my name, so I think we're going to add some more to those. Just getting out the same colors I had. The neon yellow, neon pink, and the black. And just using little spots of them. I'm just finding a small paintbrush with a small end at the end with the brush for the opposite end. So I'm going to put some dots on my butterfly. I'm sorry if my hand was in the way on that last butterfly. But again, I'm just adding dots with the back of the brush. see the detail that I put on the butterflies. Put that with the heat tool really quick. I am done. Day 3 of NaNoJouMo. If I could fly. I have a journaling spot to write my thoughts. And a nice page. Thank you for joining me for day 3. See you tomorrow.